welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I figured many of you are probably on winter break right now. You probably have at least 1 week left, and with the holidays over, sometimes it can feel a little bit like sad, lonely. You might not know what to do. I know personally, I love being home, obviously, for break, but I also really thrive on like structure and routine. And so breaks can get a little bit hard. And so I thought I'd just give a little rundown of what you can be doing to stay productive over winter break, whether you're in ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th grade, we'll go through it all, so that you can have the best time ever over these last few weeks, days, whatever it may be that you have for break. Okay, so if you're in ninth grade, I would honestly just suggest taking this break to rest and recharge. This might be one of like your last winter breaks where you don't have to think about anything academic at all. And so truly just like relish that time. If you do want to be productive, I think ninth grade is such a great time to start thinking about what kind of clubs and volunteering opportunities that you want to get involved in. Obviously, if you're already a part of clubs, that's great. But if you're not, this can be a great time to sort of like think about what you want to do. Maybe start a passion project of your own. Think about, if you like want to write a book or want to start a nonprofit, start a business, anything like that. And you don't have to like actually do any of those things. Obviously, that's a huge undertaking as like a 15, 16-year-old, but you can just like think about it, like think about what things you might want to do, not even necessarily right now or in high school, but in life. Because I feel like ninth grade is really where you start to like shape some of your more like career and like higher education interests, so that going into like your sophomore year you have a better idea of the kinds of opportunities you want to get involved in, to be successful in high school and in college and to have a good college application season. And so yeah, ninth grade is really the time to explore. So that way, when you go back to school in the spring, you can start joining some clubs if you haven't already, and really just like kind of trying everything out that interests you so that you can decide what you really want to focus on going into your later years of high school. Okay, sophomores. I think sophomore year is such a special time. I look back at sophomore year very fondly because I think it's, at least for me, it was when I was like first starting to think about like what I might like to do in college, what I might like to study, how I like what programs I might want to apply for. But nothing is that stressful yet because you obviously have like 2 years. So I would definitely take this winter break to think about what you want to do. Think about what you might want to major in college. Think about what you might want to, if you're pre-med, pre-law, whatever it might be, you obviously don't have to know now, but it is very helpful. If you do know what you want to do, then sophomore year is a perfect time to like start working towards that. And so if you can spend your winter break thinking about, your educational college goals, then it can sort of give you a more straightforward path from now on. Also, this one is helpful for sophomores and juniors, but definitely spend winter break looking at summer program opportunities, finding their deadlines. Some will have deadlines in like January and like earlier in the year, and so definitely make sure that you're spending winter break, either just like making yourself aware of those things or working on those applications. This might look like, I don't know, maybe like a coding camp or research programs if you want to apply to do research, or like cold emailing professors to see if they'll let you work with them over the summer, things like that. Winter break is a great time for. Okay, for all of you juniors, junior year winter break is so critical. I remember when I was a junior in high school, I spent like my whole year just spam applying to awards and recognition opportunities so that I have something to list on that section of the Common App. So junior year winter break can be a great time to look for opportunities like that. It's also just your last chunk of time to do like solid resume building before you actually have to start thinking about putting together your college application. And so anything that you might have been needing to do that you haven't done already, whether that's, like finding volunteering opportunities, shadowing opportunities if you're applying to college pre-med, whatever it might be, in terms of like extracurriculars, junior year, winter break is like the last time to figure out how you're gonna acquire those opportunities and take advantage of them. Also, if you wanted to start a passion project, and that's something that you've been thinking about and haven't gotten a chance to do yet, or maybe you have one already, but you're trying to like build it, winter break is a great time to work on that. I think like to be creative, you really need to have that like laid back atmosphere and like a good chunk of time. So winter break is perfect for that as well. Also, junior year can be a really difficult year academically. I know for a lot of students, it's the first time you start taking AP classes or just like higher level coursework in general. And so, if you are struggling in a class or you think you might be struggling in a class next semester, um, winter break is definitely a great time to catch up. Either like review the material you learned last semester or think about maybe starting to like give yourself a little bit of a heads up on what you might be learning next semester so that it's easier for you. Because obviously, like when it comes to college applications, grades are like so important, sometimes like the most important to get your foot in the door to these like super selective schools. Most importantly, as a junior, I would 100% recommend studying for the SAT this winter break. You will most definitely be taking the SAT either this spring or this fall. I know in Illinois, we were all required to take the SAT in April at school. That was mandatory. And so you're gonna have to take the test. So I would definitely recommend taking this time to study because, again, it's one of the only times that you're gonna have where you don't have to think about anything else. And let me just tell you, like, getting it out of the way ahead of the time is going to make life so much easier for you. You'll have a better idea of like what colleges you can apply to and what colleges you have a good chance of getting into. You'll feel more confident about college application season. Also, if you take it and it goes badly, then you still have several more months to get a better score. And so study over winter break, definitely take it early. This time is great for that. Seniors. Now, unless you already got into college in the early decision, early action cycle, which if you did, congrats, you are done. I think you should just spend your winter break relaxing and living your best life. Um, if that didn't happen to you, then winter break will probably be prime time for college applications, which is totally fine. You know, you'll do it this once in your life and then you won't have to do it again. So how you spend your winter break will look differently depending on how many applications you have. If you're like me and you were applying to like 15 schools and hadn't started your apps until winter break, then it might be a busy time. So I would definitely recommend just like planning out the next few days really carefully, making sure that you have all your deadlines in order. And yeah, just like sticking to a good schedule. I think it can be easy to like be disorganized when you don't have like the routine of school. So make sure that, you know, you're keeping yourself accountable and not doing everything super last minute, because with college applications it can get really stressful if you're like submitting something at 11:59. Okay, final note. I just wanted to say, I think from this video, it may come across as if I'm saying everybody needs to be super locked in and productive over winter break, which is just not true. I don't believe that. I actually think that in order to be successful and productive, you should prioritize relaxation so that you can start next semester just like rested and recharged and ready to take the world by storm. But anyways, I hope this video was helpful to you if you're looking to be productive over winter break. And if it was, I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe to my channel. If not, no worries. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Bye!